Our next storyteller is a comedian, a storyteller, and a time traveler. And as a recovering software engineer, he says that he has enough life experiences to fill 34 books, which he's already started doing. Everyone, give it up for Faruk Atesh.
My cat gave me the greatest gift of my life. Spoiler alert, it was not the dirty litter box. So, ever since I was a teenager, I always wanted to change the world through storytelling. I wanted to write exciting adventures with larger-than-life characters and underlying moral lessons that would inspire people to lead better lives. So I started writing video game fan fiction. I was still a teenager. But in order to share my literary masterpieces, I learned how to make websites, and then I got really into making websites, and one day my teacher asked me, okay, so what do you want to do in life? I want to be a writer. Okay, so what do you want to do in life to make money? I guess I'll make websites. Okay. So I stumbled into a career in web development, and it took me from my home country of the Netherlands to London, to Cupertino, to Vancouver, and finally San Francisco. My cat, Brunantje, moved with me because she too is a citizen of the world. Yeah, that's her name, Brunantje, don't bother. It's the Japanese pronunciation of the French word blanche, meaning white. She was a white kitten when she was born. I was 22 and named her after a character from one of my favorite anime shows. And 8 weeks later, when I picked her up, she was buff orange. Fucking cats. I had a pretty good career, but after 15 years, it was starting to feel stale, and I was looking for the next chapter in my life. I just didn't know what the next chapter was. Then one day, my cat Brunantje becomes sick, and I called the veterinarian to come in. They check, they do some blood tests. They do a physical exam, and if you have cats, you know how much they love that. But Brunantje was actually quiet. She didn't beep. She didn't meow. She was so anemic. And the veterinarian says, okay, well, it's probably feline leukemia. It's incurable. There's treatments, but she's so anemic, she probably won't make it through the weekend. Still, we take her to the VCA, the animal hospital, and they take her in overnight. They're going to do some blood tests. They're going to keep her in an oxygen tank, do a blood transfusion, and they tell me, okay, we're going to keep her here. We'll call you in the night if something happens. If not, you can pick her up in the morning. No calls happened. In the morning, she's perked back up, she's eating again, blood transfusion worked, and she actually makes a full recovery over the next couple of days. But then shit gets real. It's 2016. First, there's Brexit. And my long-term partner, who is British, sees her beloved United Kingdom leave the European Union. And this is a big loss for us both, because it means that now only through marriage can we live in each other's countries. Brunantje immediately offers to get ordained. Then there's the US elections, and this country decides to leave its own union by electing the Confederacy. Brunantje immediately orders one of those pink pussy hats online. We all think it's hilarious. Second, or third, I guess, my partner and I had a serious snag in our relationship, and we decided to take a break. This is pretty rough. We've been together for 8 years, and it's hard, but it's also right for us both as individuals. Thankfully, Brunantje's there to support me with her love. And then finally, just after that, I get laid off. And now I find myself with all the time in the world, and absolutely no idea what to do with it. And I end up having a midlife crisis. I know what you're thinking, midlife crisis at 34, but I've always been an early adopter. And I don't know what I want to do, I don't know who I am, I don't know who I want to be anymore. And I heard a voice in the back of my head going like, change the world through storytelling. Okay, so I go to my cat, as one does. Should I go and become a novelist now? Should I start writing those stories? Yeah, you're right. Between my San Francisco rent and your medical costs, that seems like a really bad idea, actually. She's not really a great advice giver. But, hey, Brunantje, do you think I should get another job as a product designer? Meow. Maybe I should do another software startup. Meow. Or how about I start a non-profit organization advocating for ethics in the tech industry? Meow. Okay, you just want food and you think ethics are overrated. She and I do not see eye to eye on that one. Or anything, I guess. But time goes on, months tick by, and I still don't know what I want to do, and I'm struggling and I'm getting more and more depressed. And I just want the year to be over. Things are still pretty complicated with my ex, and just before Christmas, we meet up and we talk to relieve some lingering pains. And it ends up going until 3 a.m. And the next night we talk more and it goes until 5 a.m. And the next day I notice that Branch is anemic again. So I call the VCA. Wait, that's not how my phone works. I call the VCA. But hey, my cat needs another blood transfusion. I'm sorry, are you a doctor? No, but fair question, right? No, but she's been through this a number of times, and it's the same symptoms, so I figure it's probably the same thing. So, okay, well, you can bring her in, and we'll take her in overnight, and do the same thing again, and you can pick her up in the morning. I drop her off, I go home, and I go straight to bed. I am exhausted. But this time I get woken up by a call. So, your cat's blood is reacting to all of our blood samples, and we cannot do a blood transfusion. There's nothing we can do. In that moment, I realized that Branch had already figured this out. The whole week, she'd been more loving and more caring. She'd been cuddling up and sleeping with me on the bed at night. She'd been holding on for me for as long as she could, supporting me through my losses. But there was one loss where she couldn't be there for me. It was time to let her go. And that night, I hit my personal rock bottom. I knew I need to change everything. So the next day, I say out loud to myself, Faruk, you need to get your shit together. What are you going to do with your life? And I start by grieving my past. I sit down on the couch and I think about the highly communicative relationship that we shared. We would chat, we would bicker, sometimes we would fight, and really yell at each other. But no matter how we left things, she would always come and greet me with love first. Whenever I would come home, I would open the door, she'd come running up to me, she would meow sweetly at me, let me pick her up, she'd lick my face, I'd be disgusted. But she would always greet me with love first, before going into her list of demands. Okay, your face is suitably gross now, let's talk business. You need to open the door for me, I've been cooped up in here all day, my food bowl's empty, and have you looked at my litter box lately? Jeez. Love first, those words stood out to me. And I thought back to all the best moments in my life, the things that made me happy, the things that were successful in my career and in my relationships, and I realized they had something in common. They had all been whenever I had acted through love first. But there was one caveat. It had always been coincidental. It wasn't an intentional or conscious effort. It was just because I was feeling great at the time. But how we feel doesn't have to be the result of what's going on in our lives. We can choose the emotional lens through which we act and experience the world. So I wondered, what would happen to my life if I consciously and intentionally chose to act through love first in everything? All day, every day, in all my actions and interactions with other people, what would that do? And that's when I was overcome with a tsunami of ideas rushing over me. I grabbed my phone and I started writing them all down in a list. Guidelines and principles explaining what acting through love actually meant. Stories that would illustrate these principles in a more relatable manner. Plans on how to bring this message to the world. People to collaborate with. I was noticing that as I was writing, I was getting excited. And it was an excitement that I hadn't felt in years. All that time that I've been struggling to try and find that next chapter in my life, it was like solving a puzzle. But I realized I've been holding the pieces all upside down. And they flipped, and the picture revealed itself for me. And I realized, I'm writing my way out of my depression. I'm laying the path for my recovery. I'm creating a mission for myself. I'm eager to dedicate myself to, and it's all about storytelling. The little voice in my head was super happy. Now, side note, I've been practicing going through that first for 6 months every day, and it's completely changed my life for the better. And I'm super excited to start telling that message and sharing it with the world, but that's a much bigger story. So that night, as the night wears down and my thumbs were thin, I realized this is it. This is the next chapter opening up before me. And that's when it hit me. This was Piranha's final gift to me. That and a dirty little box. Thank you.